fucking thing. Hello! We every fucking week.
Interesting.
Every week. Hello and welcome to episode 16 of Talking Tech. This one is called Android N already. So as you can guess, the first thing this week is about Android N, which we still do not know what the N stands for. I'm gonna go for nougat. A lot of people think it's gonna be Nutella.
Nugget.
Do a lot of people think it's going to be Nutella, or do they just want it to be Nutella?
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Mm.
So joining me as always, I have the lovely Mark and Christopher. You can get them at Mark2410 and at ChrisWallace959, and I am at mobile_dom on Twitter. As you can see, 2 out of 3 of us have gotten lower thirds working today, so that's actually
2
pretty
out
good.
of 3. Now that ain't bad.
Yeah, why not? 2/3. So apart from my dock on this side is just whoa. So I'm gonna start this first one. Android N. So I forgot to mute my watch. Let's try that one again. Android N is 2016's flagship version of Android. I don't know why they're releasing it this early. The developer preview versions. By the way, we should say this is a developer preview for the Nexus 6, 6P, 5X, 9 player, Pixel C, and 1 Android One device.
I didn't even realise the Android One device was a thing.
It is literally a single Android One device. And
I didn't realise that.
It's pretty much a Moto G.
No, I hadn't heard it either. Granted, I haven't been looking out, but
it's like an Android One device that is like only sold in Turkey as well.
Yeah.
It's really strange. Like
You got some stuff in with that.
the General Mobile 4G or something like that. So
basically, Google have released it on a bunch of devices that absolutely no one has.
Yes. As including devices I wished I had, like the Pixel C and the Nexus 9.
Player.
Huh?
Like the player.
No one should have ever bought the player because it shouldn't have fucking existed. Simple as. If there's a bad device, Google and Asus should feel bad about making it. So, developer previews for the next version of Android are usually released at Google I/O, which is in about 3 months from now. Another thing that makes it so interesting as to why it was released already is because Marshmallow is barely on 2% of devices. I think it's like 2.3%. And they're already rolling out the developer preview for the next version of Android. But from what I understand, there is almost no downside to flashing this at the moment, aside from a few bits of instability.
They say there's been reports of there's quite a bit of lag and stuttering around, but they said if you can get by that.
I've heard the exact, literal, some devices it has brought back from the dead, like the Nexus 6 and the 5X.
I want a Nexus 6.
The 6-inch one.
Yes.
You are high and drunk, and I'm with you at the same time. I also kind of want one. The reason I want one is because no one ever wanted them, so their value plummeted a lot. So you can buy ones on eBay that are barred because someone for 70 quid.
I saw a 64 gig midnight blue.
Oh no, you are wrong. You are wrong. No, you are not.
I don't like the white. The white to me is just asking to get mucky.
Yeah, you put a D-brand skin on the back. You don't go for some weird I
probably would D-brand skin it, but I do like that blue.
Build on it. That blue looks like you spilled an ink pen on it. That's a disgusting blue colour, Christopher.
Hang on, I'm trying to pull the pricing up for it. It will swing or just over. It's around the 300 quid mark, and that's a 6 gig, 64 gig.
I hope it wasn't 6 gig price.
64 gig, A-grade condition. That's kind of.
I'm always very wary when companies say A grade. It's like when you see something that says it was never been overclocked. And it's like that's been overclocked.
It's CEX, so their A grade means A grade.
I don't know, man. I bought Xbox games and stuff from CEX. They weren't A grade.
So here it is. It's 335 quid, unlocked, mint condition, 64 gig blue.
300 something.
£335.
That's pretty much the price
Wait,
of a 5X.
what?
Yeah.
No, it's not. The 5X and
is it
they
less than
just
that?
not get massive price slashes.
I think the 5X might be just under 300 now.
Yeah, I
I'm
think-
sure that
yeah.
them got big price slashes recently. I mean, not that I actually paid a lot of attention, because, to be honest, I don't really want either of the damn things.
I wouldn't mind a 6p.
I really want a 6P if it was like smaller.
I'd take a 6p
Yeah,
as it is.
or I really want the 5X if it was actually a step up from the 5.
Yeah.
I have thought about
299,
5X.
by the way. The 5X starts at 299.
Yeah, they can go
So the one you really want, which is a 32 gig ice blue one, is 339. So £303.
The thing is, though, is this does come with a 2-year warranty.
Yeah,
So-
but still, at that point, it's already an old device.
Yes, but
Yeah.
the fact it will come with a 2-year warranty, if you get anything wrong with it, you just ship it back to them. They sort it and they ship it back to you.
Yeah, or you just buy it off Amazon, and Amazon are awesome about anything like that.
Yes, that is true.
What's the warranty on Amazon? Like a year, is it?
I have no idea.
I
Well,
don't
no,
care, but it's like no fuss guarantee. They'll just take it back.
Yeah, Amazon are just awesome. Just
They really are.
buy
I think there's
everything
like a
from there.
year. And you get about a
Anyway,
year.
can we speak about the
Oh.
topic on hand?
Yeah, whilst we have Amazon, just before, I saw, you know the site, IBOOD,
Pardon?
it's the sort of like, I want one of those. It's they have one item every day, special offer, and they sell cheap.
No.
Okay,
No.
well, anyway, they had the Amazon Fire phones
Yeah.
for 65 quid.
Whoa.
That is a steal.
Yeah.
So,
So it's actually like hardware-wise,
like-
it's not a terrible phone. It just
Software.
yeah. If
Well,
someone, I think someone got Sanagerbond on there, which like would actually be a big step up.
Oh yeah. I mean, to be honest, I actually looked at that and was like,
Yeah, no, you're not the I did as well.
The nephew could do with a new phone.
65 quid backup phone. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah, no, it's like Snapdragon 800, 2 or 3 gigs of RAM, 4.7 inch 720p screen. It was good. Anyway, moving on. Android N. It's actually got a load of cool stuff. So they've improved Art, which is the Android runtime. What do you mean that?
It's like, oh yeah, they've magically improved the thing that was supposed to be magically improved from the before.
Oh, they
It's
just
like,
they cleaned it up.
how many times can they magically improve it?
They didn't magically improve it. They
Without
just cleaned up their
actually
code.
improving.
They've also gone back to a JIT compiler, a just-in-time compiler, which is really strange because in Android we've gone from AOT, which is ahead of time, to JIT compiling in like the 2.1, 2.2 days, back to ahead of time compiling when Lollipop launched, and we're now back to just-in-time compiling in Android N.
Because Google have a secret like 20-year master plan.
So they've cleaned up Art and they've introduced just-in-time compiling yet again. That means when you reboot your phone, you won't have to sit through half an hour of optimizing apps.
I don't get that all the time.
I get it. I mean, it might just be because I install and delete a lot of apps. So
Yeah, it's anytime you essentially update the ROM.
Yeah.
Which if you are actually doing like Sanogen nightlies, and God forbid you actually do it daily, every time.
Every damn time.
Yeah, just what to do is if you're going to do that on a device, make sure it's a device you have like 3 apps installed.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
it,
yeah.
just don't.
So they improved Art. So you won't do that anymore. They introduced split screen. For some reason, they also introduced it on phones. Whatever, I get it. Samsung does it on phones, but I think it only really makes sense on tablets. If you're running Android TV, for the 6 people of you that there are, on the Nexus Player, you can now, because of the split window stuff, you can now do picture-in-picture, which is actually really cool. What else? There's actually like a fair amount of stuff, but that it's really weird. You can now do copy and paste between the 2 windows, which is something I couldn't believe wasn't there before. There's just a lot of like nice stuff. Oh, the
That wallpaper though.
notifications have been changed, and I'm from what I'm seeing, I'm not a big fan, and I think it might have to be something that I spend a bit of time with before I end up liking it.
Doesn't the iPhone use that style of notifications where and some apps on with Lollipop?
Which
Uh,
one? The
I
inline
can't.
notification, the inline reply thing.
Yes, there's a
That's not what I was speaking about. I was actually talking about the visual design of
all
it.
the way it takes up the whole
Yeah,
screen, not
so it's
centering it.
it's now full width instead of taking like 10 pixels off either side.
Oh, I thought you meant like the
There's
inline
there's no
reply.
separation between notifications. I mean, there might be like a slight visual gradient, but there's no. I mean, on Lollipop and Marshmallow currently, each of course it's going to be too bright. Uh, there is very clear separation
Yes.
between notifications, and that is gone in Android N.
Mm.
Not a big fan of that, but again, I think it might be one of those things I have to see and use before I can really judge it. What about you guys? Anything you in particular like about N so far? Not that any of us have any devices we can try it on.
The multitasking. Nice to see that it's now no longer a Samsung thing. It's now going into vanilla Android.
Which one?
The
Multi-window.
multi-window,
Yeah,
multitasking.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Of multitasking as well. The fact that now it shunts your. So let's say you have open Facebook, then you go to Chrome. When you multitask, it puts Chrome
Right down at the
right
bottom.
down. It leaves a little header and then puts Facebook behind it, as if
Almost like
you
front
want
and
to go
center.
back.
Yeah.
So if you were like say on Twitter and on Slack, and then you could just switch between the two, but you wouldn't actually be accidentally hitting the one you just come out of, which I confess that's something I kind of do from time to time.
Speaking of, before I forget, in the end preview, if you double tap the multitasking button, it rotates through your last used app. So again, if you're in Chrome and Facebook, if you're in Chrome, double tap the multitasking button, it'd flip you into Facebook.
Yeah,
Do whatever you need, double tap it, and it jumps you back to Chrome. That is really cool.
Yes, Google have discovered Alt Tab.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I mean, Huawei had it for a bit. I don't know if it's still in the Honor 5X mark. If you just hold down the multitasking button, it jumps between your last used apps. And this is where Mark gets at his Honor 5X, people.
Was that a slight segue as well?
No, actually, that's not in the rundown at all.
I know it wasn't in
if
the
I sit
rundown.
and hit the button, all it does is it brings the multitasking up.
No. You have to be like in an app.
Oh,
Open.
okay.
If you're in an app and you hold down the multitasking button.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah. So yeah, Mark's right. It is Alt Tab essentially. Doesn't mean it's not useful though. I use Alt Tab all the time.
Kind of, but I'm not sure why I would do the long press. Why would I not just push the button, see all the options, and then just pick the one I want?
I mean, if you know it's going to be the last used app, I still think a double tap is always going to be faster than a long press. I don't know. I go back and forth. I tend to hate long presses as an input.
Yeah, I don't hate that they've added that. I don't see any harm or anything negative about it, but you've added Alt Tab. This is not like magical.
No, but again, it was magical when Windows added Alt Tab originally.
Was it?
I mean, it's very useful.
Oh, it's very useful.
If someone took Alt Tab away from you, you'd be very pissed.
Yeah, I'd probably, if it was taken away, I'd absolutely notice. And on a desktop computer with a 24-inch monitor, I absolutely use it all the time and can see a real use for it. On a 5-inch screen, I'm not so convinced.
Again, I think we might have to use it before we can really comment on it. Because again,
Use it to love it.
Yeah, but
maybe not even love it. Just use it to comment on it. Because there's a load of things in my phone that I thought were absolutely fucking monumentally stupid until I used them, like the wrist flick for cameras in Motorola devices. And then I used it and I was like, this is actually the best thing in the world. I have no way actually to segue out of this.
No.
To be honest, I've seen nothing in N that looks awesome. It seems like, okay, you've tweaked it.
Here's a question.
I mean, how often can they do a massive, like, ground-up redesign?
No,
I
I don't want them to, really. I just, it's the same with the, once, we had Windows XP. Really, what magical direction did you have to add into an operating system? Or Word, there's a new version of Word comes out every 2 years.
It just happens to get more and more resource intensive.
Yes, and I'm sure we could probably all quite comfortably go back to, Word 1990, whatever, because none of us use hardly any of these functions. But, I don't see any harm in a new version of Office coming out. They might add something that's nice. Someone might find really useful.
I would love for them to just release a version of Office that looks like it currently does, but uses like half the system requirements.
Here's a question for you whilst on the subject of N. Besides name, how do you think they'd make the statue? Would they do it like, if it was like a bar or something, would they do it like they did with a lollipop? Or if it was Nutella, would you think they'd do it?
If it was Nutella, they'd do a Nutella jar
with the Android stick
with the head, or the head would be like the lid.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't thinking that. That's a good idea. I was thinking like a Nutella jar with the lid sat at an angle with the Android guy sticking up out of it.
Yeah. Speaking of, I found Nutella in my kitchen the other day. Like, I was like a 3-year-old child. It was the best.
Yeah.
Also, this is one of the many reasons why I'm going to get diabetes eventually. So, again, I have no idea how I was supposed to segue, but HTC's next phone is leaked. Oh my god, it's not going to save them. It is an ugly piece of...
I was up for it because it looks like the M7 on the back. And then I saw
it does not.
On the back, it's all right. On the back, it looks fine.
On the back, it looks like someone took an M7 to a what's it called? A milling lathe, and just took a massive, like, fucking 35-degree chamfer to the back.
I kind of like the rear.
That is horrific.
It's not horrific.
I kind of like the back.
That is abhorrent.
I like the back.
Fine.
And I don't know if anyone read the A9 review, but the one thing I see straight off the bat is no front-firing speakers. It's
also,
not one device.
Also, they've put capacitive buttons back in.
Yes, I did.
Which is an instant no for me.
No, I quite like them, actually.
Like, Craig likes them as well. I think he's wrong too.
I'm not.
I don't have to have them. Like, Nexus 5 doesn't have them, and I. Absolutely fine with that. And I quite like the fact that I can then add in additional software buttons. And on the Honor 5X and the Huawei P8, they have inbuilt, you can add in the little button to bring down the notifications rather than
that is
straining your finger.
LG does that as well.
Like that, absolutely fine. But I also play with the P8000, and it's got capacitive buttons on it, and I like them. They're fine. They work.
One thing I will say is, I think they brought the capacitive buttons back.
Oh, it's because it's got a fingerprint reader.
Yes.
And the home button. Yeah. Oh, we already knew that. It was just a weird disconnect, which you found in your A9 review.
Yeah, I found it slightly.
Guys, go and read it if you didn't read the A9 review. You said it was a weird disconnect of having the physical sensor there, even if it wasn't. I mean, it did act as a home button if you touched it, but essentially having the duplicated function made it a bit weird.
Yeah,
so
I disabled that.
Taking that weirdness away.
But it was weird because there was just on that bottom. I'm going to call it the bottom chin. It was just the fingerprint scanner.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which on here they could have put, and it might have sounded crap, but they could have put little speakers either side and had front-firing speakers. Might have looked a bit odd, but it would have brought front-firing speakers back. If this is the final render, I'm definitely not getting one.
No, yeah, this is. I can't think of a single thing HTC would do with this, which makes me want to buy it.
That I did notice the front camera lens is
Huge.
huge.
My guess is they're just using the
Eye camera.
the ultra pixel one.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone remembers the eye line.
The
Like the
Desire Eye.
Desire Eye. I think there was an M8
No,
eye.
I think it was. Oh yeah, no, you're right. There was more than one.
Yeah, there were several of them where they just put
Just a huge
bigger,
fuck off camera in front.
yeah, in the front, which to try and up your selfie game.
Also, the person who came up with that should be burnt alive at the stake.
I kind of see where he was coming from.
I thought the concept was fine. Just the naming. To be honest, I think naming has long been the thing HTC just doesn't get.
I like the M line.
Yeah, no,
They got forced into that. They did not choose to use the product code name. They were just going to call the thing the One.
Which they did on the F7, and then realised.
And then when they got the second one out, they just called it the One, and it was shops and magazines and internet sites that made a point of saying it's the One brackets M8.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think they really had a kind of. I'm trying to think of the word here, like
coherency.
Yeah, like they.
That's a big word.
It would have been fine if they'd. Trying to think. They could have just called it the next one, like Apple has just been calling it the new iPad and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they're HTC, and they've shown themselves to be completely useless when it comes to naming.
Completely
I mean,
incompetent.
what they should have done was way, way, way back in the mists of history, when dinosaurs roamed the Earth, and there was the Samsung Galaxy S and the HTC Desire. Everybody knew what the bloody Desire was. The Desire was a desirable phone. Everybody had one. And then the next one they came out with, they then changed it to Sensation. Whereas Samsung thought, hey, let's just reuse the name that people actually already know. The name that we've already spent hundreds of millions of dollars advertising. We'll call it the Galaxy S2.
I'm not going to lie, by the way, the Desire came out at the same time as the Legend. And the Legend was more desirable, whereas the Legend was more desirable, and the Desire was more legible.
Wasn't the Desire cheaper though?
No, the Desire was way more expensive because
I know they did. I know they did change, I can't remember what it was, but they brought the Desire to cheaper. I think it was when they pushed the One line out.
Yeah, it was.
The Desire,
No, this is when the Desire was the flagship. It
was like after that.
This had like the WVGA AMOLED display.
Yes,
it had the Snapdragon processor. Yeah,
it was the Nexus one, but instead of having a physical trackball, it had the optical one.
Yeah, and the Legend was just a metal HTC Hero essentially, which is actually like really nice. I found that way more desirable. But yeah, no, this HTC 10, and by the way, it looks like we're dropping the M.
It's not an M.
There is literally not a single thing about this device I want. It's using capacitive buttons. It's got a front-facing fingerprint scanner. It's got those monstrous rear chamfers. Those antenna lines again.
In fairness, these are all leaks. These could be just preview, not quite finished. This isn't actually how it's gonna look.
Yes. Dom, do you not like antenna lines then?
Not really.
So you don't like that?
Oh, you son of a.
I've always got something to hand.
The worst offender is without a doubt the iPhone. But
although
I'd love to see one of the G5, because as much as I dislike the G5, they've done this weird thing where they hide the plastic melt inserts between like a really, really thin layer of metal in the body. I'd love to see how that works out.
Why is this sudden fascination with making phones out of metal? It's not sensible.
No, it's not.
It gets bloody hot, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it can get really hot if it's not built properly. It dents and dings, it scratches, it doesn't bounce back. It's really It's not
Even
built
this
for long-term
yeah.
use.
No, it's stupid. Like, why can we not just go back to like Samsung making really nice plastic phones?
Because Samsung didn't make nice plastic phones; they made cheap, nasty plastic phones.
No, they did make some nice ones. I mean, they also made some hideous ones, but
The only nice one I can think of is the original Galaxy Note and the S2, which it was based off.
See, I don't run bareback with this. I use a gel case, and I would say running bareback.
Please stop saying that.
says that.
Okay, running.
It
should I
has many
say.
other meanings.
I don't like all that metal. It's just doesn't grip right, and
No, exactly. We all end up having to put these stupid things in the cases. What's the
Or it's-
only phone I have that I do not have in a case?
You know,
It's
it's
the
5.
Nexus 5. Because it's plastic and it grips my hand and it's nice and it doesn't feel like it's going to then, take chunks out of the screens of everything else.
that's one thing I did notice with the Nexus 5 was that plastic was so grippy.
Yeah.
Unless you got the white one.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
but
I know a
the-
couple
The
of
side,
people.
the sides of the white one were glossy.
Yeah, I know a couple of. I know someone who had a black and a white, and the one that had the white said he wished he brought the black.
I'll tell you, the one white phone that I thought was really nice, which is spoiler, I'm getting a couple of BQ phones in for review. The Aquarius M4.5, which is their cheap, low-end Wiley Fox Swift like price device.
Did you see that Wiley Fox
came in-
deal?
Yes, I did. Came in like an eggshell white, and it was beautiful. Though it had the same problem as every like matte white device. It picked up the color from my jeans like within 6 hours.
Well, the problem I have with white phones isn't so much the fact that they're white, it's that they make the back of the phone white and the front of it black. It's like,
the front of this was
have
white
it
as well.
white, the whole thing has to be white.
Yeah, the front of this was white though.
See, with the
Yeah, that's
A9,
fine.
they did black front, red back, which I'm kind of glad they did, because you think about it, you have that red all over, it would be one ugly phone.
But like if you put white on the front, it'd be really strange as well. Black and red kind of go well together. Ask MKBHD. I mean, now that I think about it, this third topic in the rundown should have been second, because I could have tied this in so much better with the fucking Android N preview. God damn it, Chris.
I'm
gonna have that. God damn it, Chris, and like a soundboard. I can just press a button. I say it so often. So, with the Android N developer preview launching, Google is giving people a discount for buying the Pixel C, which is their premium tablet. Premium in air quotes, even though it is
loosely used.
Yeah, by premium you just mean expensive.
Yeah, but no, it does have premium components as well. It has a very high-end NVIDIA processor, which they've nerfed, by the way. Really nice high-end screen, nice keyboard, like speakers, USB Type-C stuff. It is like, and it's milled out of a single block of aluminium or steel or whatever it is, which doesn't necessarily make it high-end. Blah 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 blah. I get it, but this is their highest-end product, and it does have the internals to match. But at $500-ish, it was very expensive. So they're giving people a $150 discount for buying it to develop on Android N, which is actually a really decent discount.
But you've not caught the best bit. You only have to claim.
Oh yeah, they're not doing this to actually get developers to buy it. They're doing it to shift the stock that they have sitting in a warehouse.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why they're not enforcing the thing that Chris just showed as a loophole.
Yeah, they just don't want to make it look officially.
Oh god, they made so many and they probably sold none.
Yeah, they just don't want to say, oh, nobody's buying this. They want to say, oh, we'll make it a developer discount. Oh, aren't we great?
Do you remember when they did that with the Nexus 1 originally?
No.
They did drop the price, because it was originally a developer-only device that you could buy only through official channels, and then they dropped it.
I
before
remember, yeah, it wasn't available anywhere apart from through them, and then eventually it did become available, and yeah,
Buckle,
the,
basically.
but it was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. The Pixel C is actually a device I'd like to try out, but not one I think I would ever spend money on because again I think the size is too big for me. The Nexus 9 is the right size. I have played with one of those. I just wish it was built better.
I'd like a 9, but a Nexus 9. But I'd kind of like Pixel C as well.
I want a Pixel C purely for the keyboard.
Yeah, that keyboard does look pretty sweet.
Like
So,
the Pixel C has.
the way
Trying
it
to think.
charges as well.
If the Pixel C ran, if the Pixel C's keyboard somehow attached to the Surface Pro 4, that would be like perfect. Because the problem with Surface keyboards is the fact that you have to use it with the kickstand out, which means using on your lap is difficult. The problem with the Pixel C is that it runs Android.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from. But surely them specs in the Pixel C could, in theory, if Google would flaming support it, run Chrome OS.
Oh, without a doubt. It was originally meant to be Chrome OS, but they didn't get the touchscreen optimized version of Chrome OS finished, and I think they've kind of given up on it. And
that
again,
could be.
Before I forget, Chris, you could have literally just flipped 2 and 3 because 1 and 3 go together and 2 and 4 go together.
I didn't even realise.
Man.
I didn't realise that. Hang on, let me
Again.
just check see if anything else can be flipped. Nope.
No, I've already looked. So yeah, Mark's probably right. They've probably sold none, or they probably sold very few Pixel Cs, and this is probably just a ploy to get people to
shift stock.
accept it at a lower
It's standard policy. You know, with anything, if you're not selling them, you stick something on sale.
It's like when you see things go on sale you see it in like American Post of Black Friday. It's like this TV is $150 off, and it's like actually it's not.
Yeah.
So moving on to something that actually got updated to something it was promised. Shock horror! The HTC One A9, which is a stupid fucking name.
Yeah, it's not a 1. I don't care what you say.
When it was announced, was touted as being the first phone with Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0 with an asterisk, update to implement 3.0 coming later.
Can I just super quickly just throw in yet another HTC One?
Yes.
Jesus, like.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Continue. It's like. I remember when HTC realized that they had this naming problem and went, right, we're gonna cut all their phones. We're gonna have a phone. We're gonna call it the One. Oh, and then we're gonna have this and then.
Yeah.
And the One M8, the One M10, the One M9, the One A9. It's like.
Oh no, you guys are just like the voices in my head, just another people. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, you're not high, Dom.
I mean, like, give me enough of this stuff, and I can be drunk. So.
Yeah, it's just like it's. I know I keep going on about it, but I don't know. I just can't seem to fathom
the pricing.
Like the HTC have like a whole board, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, they keep firing them every 6 months.
But
yeah.
I mean, it's like, is everybody in a management role in that company a total moron?
Yes.
I mean, they just like fire their CEO and pick up a new one like 6 months ago.
No, I thought they still have what's her name?
Xiao Wang.
Yeah, it's the one.
Yeah, no, but she took over from Peter Chu like 6 months ago.
I don't know. I mean,
the thing I
know. No, I was going to say something derogatory, but.
On the A9 subject, the one thing I did also notice when I wrote the review is the pricing compared to the M9.
Yeah, it's like
they are so close.
Yeah, no, they're pretty much saying don't buy the M9, buy this instead. It was their kind of.
I think I'd have the M9.
Huh?
I think I'd have the M9.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have the A9. I'd take the M9.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't buy either,
Oh no, but if somebody said pick one of the other, I'd take the N.
This was the last good M phone they did.
So that's my problem, because it's like, do I have crap screen and crap camera, or do I have front-facing fingerprint scanner, and just terrible battery? Like,
I was just more thinking the M9 just looks good.
Yeah, it is.
I don't. I've never thought the M series of phones have looked good. Like,
Yeah, mate,
since the M7, I'm like, this is horrible design, which is why I'm so against the purported looks of the M10.
M7 in black.
Ugh. I've never liked the M series of devices. It's just never been something that appealed to me. It's like when they won all those what's it called? Design awards. Yeah, the design awards. I was just like, why? It never clicked to me.
It was kind of new. I think that's why they got it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
So back to 3.0 on the A9.
Yes. Quick Charge 3.0 is kind of a big deal.
Is it?
Yeah, no, it actually is. I was looking over the spec of it the other day. It kind of does to quick charge what the original quick charge did to normal charging.
Made charging quicker.
Yes, but at a bigger level than 1.0 to 2.0 did.
Yeah, but how many people actually need their phone to charge from 0 to like 80% in 2 minutes?
I think it depends.
How many people don't just charge their phone every night because?
Yeah, but no, I don't think it's that simple. I think it's, what if someone comes home and is like, oh, I'm going out for the night, but shit, I'm going out in 20 minutes when the cab gets here and I forgot to plug my phone in.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that everyone's going to use every day, and it's not something anyone should use every day if they care about the longevity of their battery. But it's in those niche cases where it is useful. It's
the thing is though,
unmatchable.
But I just don't see how big a deal it actually is. Because I mean, you're saying it's the people who come home from work and they've got to go out. Well, you know, reality is once you kind of go past about 30, people mostly start getting married and settling down, and that kind of you don't do very often. You do that maybe once every couple of weeks, maybe once a month, and the older you get, that becomes like once a Christmas. So
I've got.
I mean, by the way, I just like to clarify. I don't like doing that now. That involves me leaving my house and meeting people. I much prefer sitting there, which you can't see. There is a couch there and a projector there.
We can see the couch.
And watching, sitting and watching a film.
I'm just saying from sheer numbers.
Yeah. No, it's very much a small percentage of the people that I said in that example, but those people do exist, and those people, it's like the people that like what are they called? The typo keyboard for the BlackBerry, you know, not BlackBerry, the iPhone that mimics the BlackBerry keyboard. That was the stupidest fucking thing in the world, and they actually got sued by BlackBerry over it. But the people that bought it and loved it, that thing was indispensable.
The thing I was going to say is, with the A9, it did not come with a quick charge 2.0 charger. Now I don't know if it didn't ship like that. I didn't look into it, or it was just my review unit.
I believe it didn't come with one anyway.
I believe it didn't come with one. So to make the consumer go and buy a 3.0 plug, I can't think of anybody I'd know besides the techies that would actually do that. I can't think of a single person.
Yeah.
So, and heat.
Yeah, no, that's one of the big things that 3.0 did over 2.0, is it just regulated the voltage even better.
That's okay then, because the M7, 8, I've not had the 9, and the A9, they did sometimes get a little warm if you were using them, but they did get warm. They kind of, let's say, make a brilliant hand warmer.
Yeah, it's not a bug, it's a feature.
It's a feature, not a bug. What do you want about?
Yeah, it's like, you know, I'm sure if you lived in Iceland, hell, that really is a feature.
This is why everyone in Iceland wants Snapdragon 810s. Look, guys, what they really want is like AMD 9590s with their water coolers and 220 watts. That's just what they cook their fish on. It's fine. That's a techie joke. Don't worry about it. So moving on. Adoptable storage is a feature that was left out. Sorry, that was a stupid joke. I don't know why I'm still laughing at it. Adoptable storage was a feature that was left out of the Galaxy S7 for reasons that confounded many.
Do you want to explain the basic reason?
I mean, there's so many reasons. There is, like, because the SIM tray shares the tray with the SD card, that is a reason, and if you ever remove the tray when it's formatted, it fucks it up. There is another reason that I'm hearing is that Google is saying if you've got more than 16 gigs of built-in storage, don't offer this. I can't remember where I heard that, but that seems like something Google...
Oh, the one I heard was because it was in the tray, the same tray.
Yeah, no, that is
definitely the core reason, I thought.
Yeah, no, that is...
Tray is certainly a very sensible and practical reason, because if you are using the adaptable storage and you, in use, you yank that out...
It's going to fuck it up.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's... assuming there's sufficiently techie people, that's like having, RAID 0 boot drive.
Oh God, scary RAID.
Pulling one of the drives out of it. It's just gonna go bad. However, I suspect the real reason is because Google are being wanks.
I would have said it's because it's in the same tray.
I think it's a bit of both, because my Moto X Play has it in both. It's on the front and back. And I formatted like a 2 gig card to go with it, and it freaked the fuck out. Even if I turned the phone off first to take the SIM card out, it still didn't like it.
See, this has SIM 1, it's probably the other way around, but SIM 1, SD card the other side.
Yeah.
So, and I think
this
card doesn't go on a tray
the
either.
Moto G has 2 separate ones as well, but my Idol 3 has it where it shares a tray here. So
doesn't the Idol 3 have 2 SIM cards?
I'd love to try it. Huh?
Doesn't the Idol 3 have 2 SIM cards, but one of them can be used as a micro SD card?
I can tell you right now, Chris.
There was a phone, I can't remember which one.
Oh, there's a bunch of them.
No, this is just 1 SIM and 1 micro SD.
Okay, I know there was a couple of phones. I think the OnePlus 2 was one of them.
No, the OnePlus 2 was only dual nano SIMs. The OnePlus X, I think, is the one you're thinking of.
There's a OnePlus device and a couple of cheap Chinese that have it, which I kind of thought was cool, but...
It is cool, but it does mean you probably won't be able to use something like this. So, what it actually turns out is our friend over at Modoco, Paul O'Brien, he's an absolutely fantastic bloke who I'm actually trying to get on the podcast in a few weeks. I found out that Samsung actually haven't removed adoptable storage. They've just kind of hidden it from the user, and you don't even need root to get it back. So you just need ADB installed on your computer, and Bob your teapot, you kind of unblock it, and he recommends a Class 10 micro SD card, which is pretty much the only thing I would recommend when buying a micro SD card at this point. The problem I have with adoptable storage is SD cards are slow and unreliable, and people buy the cheapest ones they can. They're like, oh my god, I get a 16 gig card for £3, and I was like, you're going to regret that in 2 months.
Yeah, I would be kind of guilty of it.
Yeah, and again, if you're buying that, I would never ever recommend. It's like buying a really cheap hard drive for your computer. It's gonna be bad. You're gonna regret the decision more than you enjoyed saving money
anymore. But all I use my SD card for is music, which I very rarely listen to anymore, and just to shunt the pictures on. That's it. Because 16 gigs of storage shouldn't be a thing.
See, I'm perfectly fine with 16 gigs.
No.
But I am that weirdo who stores literally everything in the cloud, and I have an unlimited data plan. If I didn't, I would be very different.
It's just apps. They just clog up.
So I have between 10 and 15 gigs of music that even though I wouldn't listen to all of it, I know that's nothing compared to Mark. I have like 10 to 15 gigs of music that even though I'd never listened to it all, I'd like to have it all with me.
Yeah, because as soon as you delete that off, you know for a damn well fact you're going to go, I want that.
I want to listen to that song, yeah.
But I'll see three's all in 120, giving you unlimited data.
Yeah, I stream Google Music.
What with them stupid deactivation policies?
Yes, which is why I don't install it on review devices anymore.
He gave up with that now. What do you use on Spotify?
No, I uploaded all my music to Microsoft Groove Music, so that doesn't have an authorization limit. So I just use that as like an online locker for all my music.
I'm trying to find out how much music I have on this SD card. I'd like to say 2 gigs.
Go on, Mark. Give us a rough figure of what your music collection is.
Well, it hasn't been collated recently.
Are we looking at gigabytes or terabytes?
Well, it's under a terabyte. It's around the 804 gigs.
Shit.
If this wasn't all like lossless FLAC, it'd probably be about a gigabyte. No,
yeah, if it was MP3s, it'd probably come down by half.
If it was 96 kilobyte MP3s, guys, all right, it'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reasonable number of files in there. See if I can see what it says.
Mark, would you like to tell people how you export your podcast audio before you upload it?
Well, I export it into FLAC and then re-encode it into variable bitrate of a 256 average. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Whilst Mark is trying to find out how many of his music collection is MP3s, Android Pay in the UK. So, Android Pay launched in the US late last year to supersede Google Wallet, and they didn't say anything about it coming anywhere else. But I can't remember. I think it might have been the Telegraph or the Guardian, something like that.
I want to say
Telegraph.
Oh, I don't know. I'd go with the Guardian. That's kind of hipster.
No. It was the Telegraph. They said launching at the end of next month, which was they produced this in the middle of February, so it'd be the end of this month, which we're halfway through. So we have roughly 2 and a bit weeks until Android Pay supposedly launches in the UK. And I'm
really hoping it does. Yes.
I am so excited. I can't wait. I'm that guy who just does contactless with his card all the time. And I already have my phone out when I'm up to the till. I'm gonna be that smug wank that's like beep. Like I don't even care.
The thing is, I can't have contactless. And people are gonna go, why can't you have contactless? Because NatWest are insert word there. And have some stupid restrictions of you have to be over 18.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the 18 one is actually a legally binding credit limitation thing.
Yeah. Because
of the way the things are processed, essentially, even though if it's coming supposedly as directly off your card, because the transaction doesn't take place instantaneously, they are effectively giving you credit for a brief period of time, and if you're not 18, you can't legally agree to that.
Yeah, okay, I'll let that one go. And obviously that'll link to the account that I've got. I don't know if anyone uses the NatWest mobile app, but it says what type of account you have, probably the same with other ones. And on the account in the app, it says a current account. I checked my bank statements, it says adapt account.
I don't know what that means. I'm with Lloyd's, so...
Yeah, it basically...
And in my luck, Lloyd's aren't going to support Android Pay for like another 6 fucking months, but...
Who was the first to get Apple Pay?
It was NatWest, Halifax, and someone else, I think. Lloyd's was like quite late.
Yeah, although Barclays has been pushing contactless for a long time. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many people bought them, but they were selling the little armband
They did an
Bracelets.
armband, a little NFC sticker for your phone.
Yeah, which
Those-
I have
those
to say,
loads.
I thought was, really progressive of them, and
Oh, yeah.
they're really kind of trying to get out there in front of it. But I mean, Google has just done nothing but drag its heels.
Yeah.
I tell you what,
Sorry,
on,
Chris,
Don.
go on.
Okay. Just whilst I was on the thing, and this will probably be something to mention later, but I was watching a video from March of the Droids last year, and they were talking about NFC implants. Can't believe it was, and he was saying how he had a
NFC chip in his hand.
yeah, it wasn't an NFC chip though. It was, but it was using some weird standard, and he was using it to
RFID.
It was something to do with some security protocol on, I want to say MiFi, but that sounds wrong. Whatever protocol it was, and he had it set in his left hand to access doors.
Oh yeah, it's just a standard RFID tag then.
Yeah, these things have been around for a long time.
Yeah, and you don't really hear about them that much, but
I know a lot of people that have had little NFC tags put in their hand for
unlocking their phones.
Yeah,
He was mentioning the use cases that he uses. So unlocking his phone, loading his shopping list, Tasker, business card. I'm like, that's really, really cool.
Mm.
I mean, like I said, a lot of people aren't going to get a small piece of rice type implant in their hand so they can unlock their phone. Like, it's very niche, but it's still kind of cool.
The bit I was leading on to.
Well, I think it's not the bit that it's not cool. It's that all the things that they're currently doing with it are so stupid. It's for opening a door. It's for paying your drinks at a bar.
I was just going to get to the payment of...
The one I want is, I want the one that has my fucking medical history.
You can do that.
Right? Yeah, that's what I want. I want it so that
but then how would anyone know that you've got your medical history on it?
Because I want it so that everybody does it. So that, if you are found lying in the street... the paramedics come over, they just go beep, they know who you are, they know what you're allergic to, they know if you've got any existing medical conditions, your next
your credit history.
Your credit history.
Well, yes, if you're American, your credit history.
Or to be sold to the government.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't want that. It's
again, I'm the terrible person that wants it linked to my card so I can go and then pay for my drinks. I'm that guy.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that's not also cool. I'm just saying I think.
Oh, it's not cool. It's very nerdy, and I will agree to be that guinea pig douchebag wanker that's like, these are not the drinks I'm paying.
Douchebag. That was just 3 insults in one sentence.
Yeah, I'm very good at self-deprecation.
That's a big word.
Yeah.
I think the bar thing, that's been around for a long time.
Yeah, it's like people that used to put their Oyster cards in. If you're in London, you know what an Oyster card is. It's just a travel card. They used to put their Oyster card in acetone to split the two bits apart. Take the
chip,
the RFID, like the antenna ring and chip, and they put it into wristbands and gloves, and they'd come on this, tap it on the reader and stuff.
Another common thing.
It's like the progressed version of that.
Yeah, another common thing they were doing is if they couldn't be bothered to do that, they would slide them under their gloves, which would basically render. I know some people used to chop them, so they'd be like palm-sized.
Cut the card so it's the
bare minimum.
Where the element itself is.
Yeah, keep the element and keep a bit of surround so you could find it, and then have that fit in your palm.
Yeah, there was people that had ones where they had a little pocket in your gloves.
Yeah.
And it went in there so you could just, slap it with the back of your hand, and things. But to be honest, the thing I want with Oyster is I would like all fucking public transport
to have
use
the
Oyster.
system.
Yes. Yes. That's the one thing I miss about moving out of London is that Oyster isn't a thing in other places.
I know, and it's like Edinburgh has, in other terms, an extremely good bus service. It really, really does. It wins awards every couple of years. Yep, I've got one.
It's a little RFID rail card.
But the Edinburgh Bus Company, I did once email them and say, look, Could we maybe like get Oyster? And they wrote back saying, no, but we already have a smart card system. And it's like, well, no, you don't. Like your smart card, when you pay for your week, month, 5 weeks, whatever. Once it starts on the little magnetic reader, whatever, that's it. That's it started. There is nothing smart about this in any way, shape, or form.
It's like a no AP bus pass.
Yeah. I mean, there's literally nothing smart about it, apart from the fact when you scan it when you get on and off, so that they know how frequently you have got on our bus. That's it.
Okay. So, after getting riled up about that, the last thing we have to speak about is actually just kind of on topic for once, strangely. It's so everything else going on with Apple, the FBI, encryption, blah blah blah. In the midst of all this, Facebook, Google, and WhatsApp, which is now owned by Facebook, are all thinking about strengthening encryption in their respect. Oh, Mark just showed his Oyster card for people wondering what that silence
just in case
was. I just remembered most people listen to this as an audio podcast.
Yeah,
so they would have had no idea had I not called that out. So, Facebook, Google, and WhatsApp have all decided they're going to greatly improve its security and their encryption. So, WhatsApp is going end-to-end on voice calls as well as texts. I can't remember what Facebook said that it's going to do about Messenger. I think it's going
to do something similar, just because why not? They've got both companies and might as well do something similar.
It's worth noting, before I forget, that these talks were apparently in place before the Apple FBI stuff blew up. Reportedly in talks before this. I have to say that because I don't believe it, but
yes,
reportedly it's been in talks before the Apple.
Reportedly, God and myself are in talks for myself to grow wings and fly.
Would they be like 6 feet though? That's the important stuff. You don't want these little cherubs.
Oh yeah, no, like
You want the full majestic ones.
Yeah.
Sorry, before I forget, if any of you have Amazon Prime, you should watch a show called Lucifer. Fucking amazing, by the way. I love it. There's only like 7 episodes of it. The devil gets bored and he moves to LA to have like a holiday.
Yeah, I read the blurb for it, but I just kind of thought
it sounds terrible, and I fucking love it.
Okay. I might try it. But this story, essentially, I think what it's born out of is the FBI wants Apple to unlock some guy's phone because he shot people, and, as far as the FBI are concerned, the greatest terrorist aiding thing in the universe is encryption on mobile phones. Not obviously selling people the guns in the first place, because that's totally fine. Why would you look into that? No. Because the dangerous bit is the phone being encrypted. Because holy shit. I
saw something the other day that was like, Kinder eggs aren't allowed to be sold in the US due to safety concerns, but lol guns.
I've got a feeling I know where what I was going to go with, but this is a thing that people kind of keep putting off, is that Apple did say to the FBI, if you brought the phone to us, they would have sorted it.
No, that's not what they said. If they didn't try and do something else first.
No. Yes, what Apple said was, give us a court order, and we'll comply with the court order. And the FBI said, no, we're the FBI. You should just do what we say because we say so.
Oh,
and what was it? The San Bernardino local government changed the guy's iCloud backup password.
Yes, that's what they were getting to. It was, if they hadn't changed the password and they had the court order, they would have done it.
No. Again, I think you're kind of misinterpreting. If they hadn't changed the password, what they could have done is reinitiated iCloud backups. They couldn't have gotten into the phone, but they would have, because the guy, I think it's Farouk something, Saeed Farouk or something like that, disabled iCloud backups a month or 2 before the San Bernardino shootings, and so this is just a really in the weeds thing. So other services are planning to expand their encryption, and I think this can only end well.
Well,
Yeah, well, I think we've kind of missed a key point. The key point, I think, in this is not that the FBI was hassling Apple. I think the key point was that Apple extremely publicly said, hey, the FBI is telling us to do this, and we are saying, court order, or you can go spin. And this is why it's suddenly become a media thing, because, Apple farts and the media, go wild.
They have very publicly said sit on it and swivel. So.
Oh yeah, and kudos to them, because that's exactly what they should be saying. They should be saying, we are here to look after our customers and comply with the law. We're not here to just do what you say.
I think BlackBerry did a similar thing in the past about pulling out of certain parts of India because they wouldn't let the government into the BBM.
That was slightly different. The way that BlackBerry private servers operated was that BlackBerry didn't have the keys to them, so BlackBerry could not access them.
No, but I meant the way it's blown up in public. They were trying to make a big deal about it in the public domain. It was probably more of a big deal in India than it was here. But what I'm trying to say is when the company themselves make a big deal about them being
BlackBerry don't have the same kind of media savvy.
No, they don't. Especially at this time, they were very much on the downward decline, and Apple is not. But yeah, no, you're right. When Apple farts, the world says, "Ooh."
Well, certainly the American media does.
Yes. And I think that's kind of where I wanna leave it today. We're just over an hour. But do you want to speak about some upcoming articles?
Yeah, I don't mind. So, I'm going to say, you want to do it, or Dom, or shall I?
I mean, I'll do the first one because it's about me. Why not?
Yeah, okay, you do the first one then.
So, tomorrow, March 15th, I have the Doorbird D101 review going up. So, this is a smart doorbell, which is something I never thought I'd say. It's a Wi-Fi connected doorbell that is controlled by an app. You go into walkie-talkie mode, has a live camera feed. It's actually really cool. I really enjoyed it, but it's kind of really expensive. That's what I'm going to say.
On that, didn't that have a power over Ethernet option?
It did, but I didn't set it up with power over Ethernet because I didn't have the right power injectors and all that.
All right, because I know with the I can't think of it. What's the other one? The big one that everyone knows. The
video doorbell.
Yes, people reporting after pressing it. I don't know if that was on battery or a couple of people were reporting when they press it on Wi-Fi there was a bit of a lag between it chiming on your phone. I don't know if that was something
one or 2 seconds. I mean, from here, if I'm probably about 10 feet from the door, but it's a big house, so the difference is literally a second or two.
Oh, okay. They were reporting like 5 or 6 seconds. That was my only question. So, and then after on March 16th, we've got, just to clarify, yours is being posted at 3 p.m.
Yes.
Craig's got the iClever foldable keyboard review, and this is Bluetooth, just to clarify. And
I don't know how I feel about Bluetooth keyboards.
No, I can understand with like tablets, and I looked at the preview of it, and
yes, Mark, we know you've got Bluetooth stuff.
Yeah, I can understand it with like tablets because let's face it, if you want to use a keyboard with a tablet, you don't want an OTG cable and a USB keyboard. So I kind of see Bluetooth keyboards in tablet, and that's, if I recall rightly, what he reviewed it with. I think he used an iPad. So yes, for mobile accessories, I wouldn't so much say with a desktop, although Mark would disagree with me on that.
Well, it depends what you're doing. I mean, if you're happy to have the keyboard with a USB cable trailing around, absolutely fine. There is absolutely zero benefit to Bluetooth. If you're going to have wireless, though, go with Bluetooth. Don't go with one of these ordinary standard RF ones with their own stupid little dongle. The reception on them is all all of them are crap.
They're not too bad.
No, they are.
No, I've
They're
got
all terrible.
like Logitech unifying receivers, and if I put a glass in front of them,
They're all awful. The range in them all is absolutely.
I don't know what
terrible.
problems you're getting, because I've got
Bluetooth ones. I could sit from anywhere in the room. I could wander to the bathroom and probably still sit and type away quite happily.
I've got what is it, a TechNet, and it uses one of these little IR, whatever you want to call it, receivers, and it really does work well.
I mean, I really hope it isn't IR, because you need to have like perfect alignment all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it might work well, but I can assure you, Bluetooth ones, at least the decent ones, will work considerably better.
Yeah,
I think my main problem is my router modem thing is on the same desk, and it is
that probably doesn't help you. T.4 clash over.
Yeah, where it really counts is if you have a computer hooked up to a TV and you are set, 10, 15, 20 feet away, and you want to be able to sit on the sofa and
20 feet away from your TV. How fucking big is your room?
Well, my room is not very big at all, but I know other people that have reasonably long.
Christ.
Yeah, so that's coming up, and yesterday, whenever you hear this, Craig did post his what's on my phone video, which he did write an accompanying article on after mine. But that is live. There is a video on YouTube that it is linked on the article, although I believe it's a link not embedded, so I might change that for him. But no, that's there. And then last week I've obviously put mine up, so that's there. There's quite a few.
I've got one coming next week. Yes,
Dom's working on one. And I don't know if it's still going, but there was a big sale of apps, all down at 50p. I think
one or two of them are still on.
I think there's some that are still on.
Yeah, although I think most of them are apps that have previously been on.
Most of them were pretty terrible. Just looking at them, I couldn't see the justification on them.
Yeah, but all the ones that look decent, I'm sure they've all been through it.
Yeah, there was Nova Launcher and.
I don't think it's up anymore.
No, that's not up anymore. But ES File Explorer Pro, that's still there.
That's 10p, isn't it?
I got it at. Yeah, is it 10p? App of the week now only 10p, and that's another thing to watch out for. When you load the Play Store, scroll down a little on the home page, and you'll get App of the Week. There's always something in there for 10p.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I think that's it.
Bulls. What was that, Chris?
I said I think that is it.
And I agree, because I also want to go and eat, because I'm hungry now. So thank you. Shut up. Chris, I will mute you, and I'm not afraid to do it.
At the end of everyone.
Better. Christ, Chris. So that has been episode 16 of Talking Tech. I am at mobile_dom. Mark is at Mark2410. Chris is at ChrisWallace959. The site is at MTTFeed. The website is www.mobiletechtalk.co.uk. Instagram, we are MobileTechTalk. Facebook, MobileTechTalk UK. YouTube and Google+, just search us for MobileTechTalk. And lastly, our Patreon, patreon.com/MobileTechTalk. If you send us some money, we can make you better shit. So thank you guys for joining me this week. This is where you guys say something.
You're welcome.
Man, I've really got to get better at this whole breathing thing. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
See you.
Bye-bye.